Hello. How are you doing? Hello, Felix. And thank you for the luck. Let me know if the music is too loud or too quiet. Wow. But I am here with my Coca-Cola Zero sugar. And I'm gonna need hydration because I'm going to be reading aloud to you today because we're gonna continue this very intriguing game that I played on Sunday. I mean, I started it on Sunday and I wanted to continue it because I will be away from home after Thursday. I will be away from home from Thursday to Sunday, so I won't be able to stream anything. So I wanted to stream this now because it is very interesting, and I want to continue it. Maybe I should probably turn off my phone notifications. There we go. Hello, Sabu. How are you doing? And welcome. Welcome to the stream. We're gonna continue this game. How are you doing? I also have some chocolate, which I'm gonna eat one piece of it. If I can get it out of the package. I'm gonna eat one piece of it, but I will try not to eat too much of it because it will probably make it hard to read the text aloud, you know. Oh wow. Nom nom. So last time we played the childhood portion. And today we are a little bit older, so we're gonna see what happens. Just been working a lot lately. Ooh. Well, I hope you're getting money at least. Nom nom. We're gonna start the game after I have eaten this chocolate. Alright, let's go. Alrighty. We are in chapter 2, Adolescence. So we are 8 years old. Oh. Chapter 2, Adolescence. You've lived in this world for 8 years now. As you grow older, life grows more complex. The world of your childhood was limited to your house and family, but now that realm is expanding. It also includes your neighborhood, the nearby houses, the streets of the ancient city of Anisot. A question now looms over you, growing more pressing with each passing year. What will your place be in this vast outside world? Few people in the blessed Archnean Empire trouble themselves with this question. It's not within a man or woman's power to choose. Their destiny is predetermined by their birth and those who bore them. And yet your peculiar birth has granted you a choice. Your father is a man of nobility, a worthy example in all matters of duty and honor. Your mother is a commoner of lowly estate, humility and patience made flesh. And your sky is ablaze day and night with the light of the shining pillar, the beacon of the clergy. Damn it! why am I hiccuping so much lately in streams? I really need it. I really need the hiccup counter. Your back bears the mark of the lash. Will you accept the drudgery and suffering that is the lot of the lowborn for your entire life? Or will you follow in the footsteps of your father and your father's father and fight for the right to serve the empire as a noble of the mantle? Perhaps will you follow the twin god's word and offer spiritual guidance to others? The answer lies out there in that vast, terrifying world. What awaits you beyond the walls of your home? Let's see. What do I wanna do here? So last time the game gave me like, it shows me what stuff can happen and what I need to do to make them happen, so I'm gonna see what there is. A glorious secret. You discover the secret society your sister Gloria has joined. Ooh. So I need to have ingenuity at least 4, I guess. Stefan's disgrace. You find out about your elder brother's forbidden love. But that requires me to have more nobility. Blood tide? You join the blood tide of the Brante family. Oh. I don't know. Your younger brother Nathan Brante receives a spiritual admonition from you. What does that mean? I am interested to know what's Gloria's secret, though. I guess we shall see what happens. Oh, more events in the personal life. Matters of the heart. You experience your first romantic feelings. Conditions meet the girl. Revelation of the tree. You experience revelation by the sacred silver tree. Conditions and epiphany. I don't know. I don't. What is the epiphany? Oh, you saved the local girl named Sophia from lesser death? Huh. Interesting. I'm gonna really quickly check. Okay. So we have now nobility that we can get, or ingenuity, or spirituality. But we have a nice amount of willpower now. Relations. Oh. Ooh. Oh. Now there's a map. Hello, Rolene. Hope you have a nice day, sir. How are the steaks today? I'm just starting and looking at the new things that I can see here. Oh god, I don't think I'm gonna read the map because it's very big. Ooh, what is this? Province describes the state of affairs in your native province of Macra. Huh. Interesting. I will probably just go choose, whatever seems good at the moment that happen. But how are you doing, Rolene? Are you having a good day? Alright. Personality. Okay. I checked those already, so let's go. So we are now 8 years old. The family expects more and more of you as you grow up. The teachers and tutors hired by your father keep you on your toes all the time. Your life these days is dedicated to studying for your future, for the future of the Brandy family. Your younger brother Nathan keeps growing up too. He can hold a conversation now. You never refuse him when he comes to play, provided you have a bit of free time between your demanding lessons. Ooh. Ooh. It is a rainy day today. Father and mother have gone to a ball. Ooh. And they left Nathan in your care. You lose track of time over the books in the sitting room, and Nathan goes off alone to splash in the creek. Soon you hear his voice begging you to come outside. He is on the porch, sobbing, all covered in dirt. You walk up to him as he continues to bawl. It's all that kid. He pushed me into the ditch and called me names. He said I was a fancy pants fool. I said I'll call my brother. He's still there. You have to go punish him, Repo. Oh no. Why are you fighting? Why are you fighting? Nathan points at the lopsided wooden house further down the street where the poorer artisans live. You see two boys lingering there on the porch. They are clearly both commoners, but far from poor. One of them is almost as tall as Nathan, and he frowns in a funny way, just like him. The other looks older, almost your age, but he is more broad-shouldered and taller. His name is Thomas. You've heard it before. There, Repo, that's him! Nathan points at the younger boy and hides behind your back. Thomas grins and rolls up his sleeves to reveal strong forearms. He must have been helping his father with manual labor for quite some time. Listen up, rich boys. We don't give a damn about you or your friendship. We don't let nobody call our home a stinking rat hole. Oh no, Nathan, what did you do? Your little brother earned his ditch dive. Maybe next time he'll dress normal and stop picking fights with people who can throw him in the mud. Your hands clench into fists before you react. Nathan called them names first. No wonder they did the same. That's how it goes. But pushing your brother into a ditch is too much. Thomas stands tall and confident. He sees no threat in you. You are about to get ready for a fight when you feel a tug on your sleeve. You turn your head to see Nathan, the one who started the whole mess. I could beat him up. Or I could say that Nathan is to blame, or resolve the matter peacefully. I could have, if I had a better relationship with Nathan, I could have listened to Nathan first. I want ingenuity though, because I wanna learn my sister's secret. So I'm sorry, Nathan. You shouldn't have gone to pick a fight with them. He did call them names first. It takes you a few moments to compose yourself and quell your rage. Your brother has put you on the spot. He couldn't bring himself to apologize, and now you have to settle this for him. And how are you supposed to do that, pray tell? If you had done this, grandfather would have had you flogged, and father would have scolded you and given you the cold shoulder for days afterwards. You frown and ask Nathan to come closer. You address Nathan sternly. He told you these boys were to blame, but he was the one who called them names first. So how is this their fault? It serves him right. Next time he should watch his mouth. Your lecture sounds a lot like father. You think your tirade came out well enough. Nathan pouts, looks away and furrows his brow. Still, he nods. Thomas slowly shakes his head in disapproval. Then he bursts out laughing. To him, this is actually hilarious. Well, would you look at that? You're a right little nobleman. Are you gonna push him into the ditch yourself now? No, what? Uh-oh. His words turn your seemingly perfect solution into a repulsive absurdity. Blood rushes to your face. You step closer to Thomas and shove him hard. He jumps back, surprised by your assault. It takes him a moment to compose himself, but now he is ready. His fists cover his face, and he attacks you with a quick jab. Now it is your turn to take a step backward. Oh. I thought we weren't gonna have a fight, but I guess we are gonna have a fight after all. Damn it. Uh-oh. Thomas does not resort to fancy moves, dirty tricks, or stupid taunts. He displays nothing but skill earned in many a street fight, and his heavy fists aim for your head. You keep dodging him again and again, trying to reach him. He takes a couple of glancing blows, but easily shakes them off. What a bruiser. You start swinging your fists with firsts. What? Firsts? Is that a typo? Firsts? Fists? Is it supposed to say fists? You start swinging your fists with greater and greater fury. Your heart is pounded like a hammer. You see nothing but the foe in front of you. How much longer will this take? You're worn out, your breath grows ragged, and your muscles grow heavy. But there is no way you can give up now. Nathan is watching you. Desperate and out of options, you swing and punch Thomas square in the nose, then immediately let his fist smack you in the temple. The blow rings through your head like a bell and blinds you for a moment. Ow. Owie. Ugh. The world swims before your eyes. You clutch at your head to get your bearings. Thomas is standing in front of you, blood dripping from his nose. You no longer want to fight it out, and it seems your opponent would rather end it too. Excuse me. But you keep standing there, eyeing each other angrily. Then suddenly you hear an angry shout right next to you. Uh-oh. An enraged man in a craftsman's apron is shaking his fist. Thomas's face contorts in terror right away. It's my father, run! The punishment for fighting is flogging, and the mere prospect of that makes you run like the wind. Thomas sprints in front of you. You dash across the rotten wooden planks of the back alley, up and over a lopsided fence, across a giant puddle in one leap, and then forward into the tall grass. You hide there and stay quiet. You hear no sounds of pursuit. You exchange glances with Thomas and start laughing. His laughter is loud and infectious. But soon he cuts it short and grows sadder. I'm gonna get flogged anyways. My dad's always quick to give me a beating. And then he'll start nagging me about the lots and the prayers for days like he always does. Why do I always get myself mixed up in this stuff? But fighting's the only way to prove you're worth anything, right? The adults didn't see you fighting, you tell him, so all you have to do now is convince them you weren't. Nosebleeds happen, right? Mother gets nosebleeds all the time. Well, we could try it. Let's hope our little brothers don't tell on us. I'll talk to mine. There's a scratch on your head. Don't let them see it. Good thing I didn't hit you in the face. There, good as new. You assure him that Nathan will never tell, and in return you'll make sure he behaves himself, so he won't get tossed into a ditch again. With that you shake hands with Thomas. His handshake is as strong as you would expect, based on his fists. You make your way out of the tall grass. You need to leave before Thomas's father goes to your family and complains about you breaking your lot. You come to a realization on the way back. You had no idea the place where you were hiding even existed, and it wasn't too far from home. Thomas smiles in excitement when he hears this. Oh, I know lots of places like that. I'll tell you what, if we get out of this mess today, I'll show you the way to the old wall. It's the perfect place to build forts. I dragged a bunch of wooden planks there. Too bad it's no fun to build all alone. My brother never helps. He just gets in the way. You emerged from the muddy back alleys, united by a secret only the two of you know. It seems you've made a friend today. Yay, we got a friend! Hello, Felix. How you doing? Yay. So, Thomas is my childhood friend. He lives on the same street, born to a family of humble artisans. His dream is to change his lot, get the military education, and earn the right to a sword. He intends to join the Imperial Legion. Hehe, we got an ingenuity point. Let's see. I have a friend. You're doing great. Yay! Alright, 9 years old. Let me drink a little bit. Alright. It is blistering hot today, even for the sun-parched land of Magro. As soon as you are done with your studies, you dash outdoors and out of the stuffy room. You and Thomas roll up your shirt sleeves, but it barely helps. You would gladly go shirtless had you only been in the company of other boys. But there are 3 girls in the yard today. They are doing the laundry in a big wash tub, whispering and giggling. If you could, you would gladly keep watching one of them at work. She has big eyes of deep blue. Her dark hair is braided and her plain grey dress is mended and patched all over. Her name is Sophia. She throws her head back a little when she laughs. The rays of the sun are reflected in her eyes. You, Thomas, and the other boys keep telling silly stories, anything to make her laugh. You sure love telling tall tales, Repo. Oh, I remember this one time. But then Sophia hears a voice calling her home. She nods to you and runs across the street, smiling. Her light steps carry her forward, but her eyes are looking elsewhere. But then a stone on the road catches her foot. She stumbles and falls flat into the dust. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The street starts. I can read. The street starts shaking from the thundering of hooves. Riders appear on the road from around the corner. They bear a coat of arms you recognize right away. The sable serpent blade upon a field of vert. It symbolizes the Milanidas dynasty, the family of your province's archduke. The horses dash forward. A lost wooden toy on the road cracks under their hooves. They will not slow down. They are the nobles, and the rest must make way for them. Sophia is in their way, just now starting to get back on her feet. Her mother is crying for her desperately from behind the fence door. You freeze in terror. The riders surely see the girl. Are they going to stop? Or are they going to trample her? Woo! Hello, Val. Thank you for the gnome. I'm about to save a girl. And I made a friend. But nothing else has happened yet. In only a few moments, the beautiful girl will be toppled, trampled, and crushed. What should we do? But how are you doing, Val? Oh. I will die, but I will get a lot of points. I wanna save her, damn it. You're doing a thing? Ooh, nice. I don't know what it is, but I hope it's going well. Well, we have a lot of lives still. I mean, the thing is like you get was it 4 deaths before you die a true death? It's like a thing in this universe. So I want all the points, damn it. You rush into the road, blinded by hope, determined to stop the riders. I will try. You throw yourself blindly into the road, swinging your arms wildly. Dazed by the sound of the thundering hooves, you can see nothing in the dust. For a brief moment, the horses slow down, just enough for Sophia to get back on her feet and flee on the roadside. But then the riders dig their spurs in. Dozens of hooves knock you off your feet and roll across your body. Owie! Ugh. Your bones crack, break, and crumble. Your ears are ripped apart by the thundering rhythm of the ride. Your innards are pulverized. The last thing you remember is the sound of your own skull caving in. Ugh. Aha. First death. You fall into a pain that embraces you like a soft featherbed. You feel light, free. There are no restraints, just the warm glow that envelops you in its secure embrace. The waves carry you, their touch is soft. They delicately enshroud what was once your body. It is a feeling unlike anything you have ever experienced before. Something absolute and complete. You touch something greater, the reason behind everything, the reason for your very existence. You were sculpted from this light. It was the first thing you ever felt, a boundless and sincere unity of the diverse. Your beginning was a spark that cast this light in all directions. Now you are here again, one with the beginning of everything. The light gleaming from you resembles the light of the shining pillar. You still see it in the north, as always. The waves of light carry you to 2 figures. The elder is nearest. He is ready to accept you. He is quiet, wise, kind and pure. The younger waits further back. You do not know what he is yet. The waves pause at the elder's feet. He leans over you and plants a feather-light kiss on your forehead. Chew. The kiss spreads all over you. You are filled with unparalleled delight and bliss. You exist. You are unique. There is no one else like you. They know this and they love you. You will never be alone. You are a part of them, a part of your family, a part of this universe. The twin gods will never leave you. They watch over you constantly. The elder softly touches you as you lie spread out amongst the waves, sending you further down the torrent of light. You float on to the top of the silver tree's spreading crown. The closer you get to the silver tree, the heavier you become. The waves draw you down along its trunk, but you do not wish to part with the warmth and the softness, with the love. You turn around. The elder is still watching you. He nods. All is as it should be. Go. Your time has not yet come. You must return to the world now. As you tumble down toward your body, you comprehend the true meaning of your lesser death and the divine love that has been revealed to you. Love exists not only in the hereafter, it is present in the entire design of the twins that is the origin of all life in this world. What is the manifestation of this love in your mortal life? I'm gonna pick family. A sudden comprehension of the love with which the entire world is imbued illuminates your mind, but then it fades away and vanishes. You regain the sensation of your flesh. It is heavy and unwieldy. It lacks that lightness, that light. It is a burden. It is smothering you. You gasp for air. Your chest expands painfully. You feel as though your lungs are about to burst. The stagnant odor of the crypt fills them. Revolting, but so real. You are back. That was interesting. Oh. Then you can feel again. You sense your body, head, arms and legs. The light fades around you. Obedient before a will that is stronger than you. You return to the world. Such is the law of the twins. You will return to the world until the time of your true death. And in this world you will have a body with which to feel pain and suffering and pleasure. You smell a sickly moist odor. You open your eyes and see the figures of mother and father in the gloom of the family crypt, speaking to each other quietly. They stop as soon as they hear you gasp. Mother runs to you and locks you in an embrace as father wraps you in his cloak. Am I naked? Neither of them says a word as they lead you out to the service and back home. Okay. You've met this terrible end, my son. You were trampled by those horses. Don't be so careless ever again. The lives you were granted by the twin gods are not to be wasted so recklessly. You would be punished for this, but the twins have already meted out their punishment. You tremble, your steps unsteady as you learn how to move again. Your body is eerily smooth, fresh and renewed. Even the recent scars and scratches are all gone. But there is something new on it. A fresh black mark. A reminder of your lesser death beneath those hooves. Remember that by the twins' mercy, we are all given enough time in this world. Should you die before your time, you will be brought back by their grace. For 3 times they will rescue you from a terrible fate. But the 4th death is true and final for all. Every loss of a life we were granted at our birth is a heavy blow to us. But the gods told us not to mourn a lesser death. And so we will humbly accept this and move on. See, your body has been reborn anew, with all your wounds healed. Do not mourn your loss of life, my son, but thank the twin gods for their justice. Do not speak on this, and do not ever play by the road again if you wish to keep on living. I wasn't playing, I was saving someone. That's a different thing. Damn it. You cautiously go back outside the next day. Children from the neighborhood surround you. They all saw you get trampled, and now they all ask you the same question. What was it like to die? Oof. Not nice. It was not nice. Thomas rescues you from their pestering. He pushes the motley crew aside, hugs you, and pats you on the back. Look at you, buddy. You gave an entire life to keep a girl safe. Then you see Sophia. She is standing nearby, shyly working up the courage to walk over to you. Soon she finally approaches you and begins speaking rapidly. Repo, why did you throw yourself in front of those horses? My life isn't worth any more than yours, so why did you think that? You weren't supposed to die there. It was all those riders' fault. They deserve to die, not you. Her voice rises to a shriek. She suddenly stops and runs back home. Oh. Bye then. You stay where you are, watching her run, the golden rays of the sun dancing in her braided hair. Nice. We got a little bit of points. And we have now died once. Okay, so the fourth death is the true one. Alright. Yay, I got an achievement that I was trampled. Woohoo! Alright. Let me drink a little bit again. Whew. Oh. Sophia disappeared after the terrible incident with the horses. Her friends gossiped that her parents sent her off to serve a rich noble dynasty. You haven't seen each other since that day, but you still remember Sophia's eyes, the sunlight shining in them. But no matter what, life goes on. You are 10 years old now. Your studies continue and you are learning more about the land you live in. Anisot is an ancient city in an imperial province by the name of Magra. All soil in Magra was turned to ash eons ago, scorched by magic during the rebellion of Duke Milanidas. The magical arts are all but gone now, but the scorched earth has remained barren and infertile ever since. Since then, the entire province has laid barren, tormented by cold and scorching winds in equal measure, with few precious plants taking root on their own. All fertile land in Magra is bought elsewhere and brought here by an endless caravan of carts and carriages. To pay for food and soil, the cities of Magra became skilled in many trades, primarily mining and digging for metals and stone. Last fall there was an explosion just outside the city, followed by clouds of thick smoke. The first such incident frightened the citizens, but then explosions and smoke became an everyday occurrence. Why am I hiccuping so much? Ugh. Ugh. Soon everyone grew used to it. So it's like exploding every day or something. Father explains that the miners are using a new invention called gunpowder. It makes it easier for them to reach the precious stones and metals buried deep within the earth. Then one day a thunderous explosion rocks the city, and black billowing smoke covers the houses. People are stuck in their homes, all windows tightly shut. The air is impossible to breathe. Nathan coughs all the time. Gloria and you cough only when nobody is watching. If Mother hears it, she'll make you inhale those hot herbal vapors, just like Nathan. It takes 2 days for the black smoke to disperse. People pour out onto the streets to meet their friends. Thomas is eager to share everything he knows about this incident with you. They took lots of burned up people to the city temple. Mom told me she was helping the healers. There are many rumors. Some claim it was the work of a beast stirred from its slumber, while others say it's the surviving witches that continue to threaten the order in the Empire with their accursed powers. But as for you, you patiently wait for Father to come back home, and then you'll ask him about it. Father spends day and night working at the prefecture while Mother spends all her time in prayer. It takes a full week for Father to finally come home, and he is almost completely spent. You muster enough courage during dinner to ask him what happened outside the city. Father raises his head, his face a bleak, weary mask, and starts muttering his proclamation. It's almost as if he doesn't see you. It's the mine outside the city. They were trying to get to a vein of ore. There was an explosion. The mine caved in and the black smoke started flowing. Many workers died there. It was all because Count El Velasco, who owns the mines, wanted them to start mining that vein before they were ready. Some of the workers weren't even reborn. Perhaps the twins thought their final time had come. The prefecture has been inundated with complaints from families that have lost their breadwinners, asking the judges for help. Many people also lost their cattle to the black smoke. Count El Velasco blames gunpowder for the disaster. The prefecture and the newspapers just repeat whatever he says, but it's plain old greed and tyranny of noblemen that are to blame. Why is the welfare of our province always paid for with commoners' lives? Then, without warning, he grows silent again. You keep thinking about it for days. Can a human life really end so easily? A single moment of bad luck, and you die, only to reemerge from the temple of the family crypt with a new black mark on your arm. Or worse, you remain where you fell, dead, never to be reborn again. Ever. So the order in the place in the province went down but the wealth went up? I guess. During lunch, father tells you to stay home in the evening and prepare to meet some important guests. Your elder brother Stefan will return home by dinner tonight. Joining him will be your grandfather Gregor Bronte, as well as a noble friend of the family. You are excited about your brother's return. It has been years since you last saw him. How has he changed during his years away from home? You and father await the guests anxiously. The doorbell rings. 3 people are standing outside. Grandfather is the first to come in. Naturally, he has not changed a bit since his last visit. Still eyeing the house with contempt, looking for any reason to demean it. Grandfather is followed by a stately young man dressed in a jacket embroidered in silver, whom you barely recognize as your brother. Stefan casts a glance at your threadbare clothes, your dirty fingernails, and smirks. Wow. Thanks, dude. I will drink some more. Alright. The last to enter the house is a personable gentleman with a worn-out, wrinkled face. You have heard a lot about this man from father and grandfather. He is Baron Augustin Elborn, Stefan's uncle, a family friend and the province's prefect, which means that he is the head judge and thus father's superior. Sir Elborn smiles lightly and offers you his hand. Oh. And this must be your younger son, Repo, yes? You have your father's eyes, young man. Father bows slightly to grandfather and Sir Elborn, but there is a moment of quiet when Stefan's turn comes. Father reaches out to him awkwardly, expecting an embrace. There is a question in Stefan's eyes as he looks at grandfather. The old man shakes his head almost imperceptibly. Am I supposed to hug my father? You. Damn you, Grandpa. Why are you like this? We noblemen oughtn't put our emotions on public display, father. Not even after a lengthy separation. There is no embrace. Instead, Stefan nods to father curtly. He responds in kind, his face devoid of emotion. After the greeting, you proceed to the sitting room. Elborn is the first to enter. He kisses mother's hand and Gloria's too, and tussles Nathan's hair after he sees him hiding by the table. Grandfather acknowledges them with a glum nod. Greetings, Lydia Bronte. I remember you were kind to me when I was but a child, and you must be Nathan. You could barely walk when I saw you last. Your elder brother ignores Gloria completely, not even a greeting. Damn. You proceed to the dining room in a dignified manner and take your seats. The dishes smell delicious, but they merely punctuate the overwhelming tension at the table. Elborn is the only one with a friendly smile on his face. The dinner is splendid, Lydia. Did you choose the dishes yourself? You have a truly refined palate. It warms my heart to know Stefan spent his early years with you. Womanly care always does a child good, no matter the estate. Your fork freezes in the air halfway to your mouth. You expect many things from a noble of the sword, but words of praise for a lowborn woman are not one of them. You cast a glance at grandfather. He looks like he's about to choke on those words. That's right. You choke, you evil man. It would do my grandson more good to stay at boarding school among his equals. Oh? Please, Gregor. Parenting is no less important. Nothing can replace a mother's love. I cannot deny it. It saddens me greatly that my late sister could not be there to raise Stefan. But there was still a family for him, and he was surrounded by love. How could that be bad? And besides, his father was by his side all the while. A father's example is always the best. After all, Robert earned the judge's rank the same way you did. Your grandson will surely follow in your footsteps. And who knows, perhaps even the younger men of the Branta family will continue to the... You clumsy low-born cretin. Oh. Everybody is startled by this sudden outburst. Grandfather's face turned red. He is glaring at a young lady servant holding a pitcher over glass. Stefan is sitting right next to her, dabbing a napkin on a fresh stain on his jacket. Oh. Be gone this instant. The lady servant runs away, leaving the pitcher on a small table by the door. After a quiet moment, Elborn smiles again. It appears the servants have left us, yet dinner is far from over. Worry not, uncle. There are enough commoners at this table to keep us served with food and drink. Stefan glares at Gloria across the table. She is sitting right next to you. She shrinks down and hunches over under his gaze. Father furrows his brows. Mother covers her mouth with trembling hands. Grandfather sneers. Stefan's gaze does not move. The silence lasts far too long. Then she starts to rise from her chair. If the Branta gentleman shall wish it. Your hands clench into fists under the table. How can he bring himself to humiliate his own family, his own mother and sister like this? It is all grandfather's doing. Stefan could not even bring himself to embrace father without his permission. And yet they are noblemen, and they have the right to act this way. If there is any way this dinner can become even more unbearable, you do not want to see it. What should we do? We could insult... We could insult... Stefan? Or make small talk? Ew, but that's gonna increase the relationship with our grandpa. So no, I don't wanna be friends with him. No. Or I could help Gloria. I kind of want to have I kind of want to get more ingenuity though, so. But that's gonna increase their relationship with Stefan, but I don't care. And it will still make things better with Gloria, so I'm gonna insult him. You grab Gloria by the arm and keep her seated. Stefan turns a puzzled gaze toward you. With a wry smile, you open your mouth. Stefan, how did you have the gall to speak without Sir Gregor's permission? Surely you wouldn't even answer nature's call without his leave. Nice. Stefan looks at grandfather, completely flabbergasted. And then chaos. Uh-oh. Grandfather roars with fury. Father stares you down with a disappointed look on his face. What? Gloria tries again and again to contain her laughter. Nathan hides under the table. Aww. Sir Elborn is unsure what to do. Stefan looks like he is about to cry. And that's what you get. Then Mother takes your hand and leads you out of the dining room. Yeah, worth it. Worth it. You expect to be locked in your room as usual. But instead she leads you outside to an unlit shed. Oh. I'm locking you in here for the night, son. Oh. It's still worth it. It's still worth it. Your presence tonight would be an insult to our noble guests. It's time you learned the meaning of humility. You do your best to fall asleep inside the shed on the cold wooden floor. Anything to make this rotten day end sooner. Grandfather's cries of outrage can still be heard from the house. Gloria sneaks out to the shed in the middle of the night. She calls to you from behind the wooden planks. There is gratitude in her voice. I never thought you would defy them like that. Thank you so much for standing up to them. Sir Gregor got so mad he forgot all about me, so I ran away. Sir Elborn took Stefan away with him. How are you doing in there? You're not going to freeze to death, are you? It's nothing, you tell her. You'll live. The important thing is that grandfather and Stefan finally left her alone. You defended your sister's honor tonight. Yes. Okay. You defied your elder brother and he now holds a grudge against you. Worth it though. Aw. We have affection between me and Gloria. Ooh. Thank you for the fart, I guess, Sorrow. As long as I don't smell them. The farts are fine. How are you doing, Sorrow? What's up? And now we are 11 years old. Ooh. Hot, dry wind sweeps through the city from the barren lands around it. The noble residents of Anisot prefer to remain in their chambers, while the commoners huddle in tents or in the shade of the silver tree. You are on an errand right now. Your father wrote a letter to a noble acquaintance, and you are to deliver it. Thomas, the boy down the street, is tagging alone. The two of you are inseparable now. The errand is an easy one, so you decided to take this opportunity to loiter around the part of Anisot where the nobles live. So here you are, in the middle of the city square. resting on the ancient brickwork by the old fountain in the merciful shade of the gargantuan silver tree. Thomas is by your side, lazily slouching on the edge of the fountain's basin. It's hard life for commoners like you and me. Either you break your back in a workshop day and night hoping someone will buy your goods someday, or you become a manservant to some noble. You never get the chance to enjoy life. This is our lot, you remind him. We work and endure and suffer, but Thomas waves your words away. Yeah, I know all that already. Mother keeps drilling that stuff into me. We must be humble, our strength is patience and persistence. So yeah, I say, but I wanna make my fortune no matter what. So how ain't that living by my lot? I ask you. But the lots, they ain't easy. Let's take you for example, Brante. Your father's a nobleman, but even if that didn't make you one. Just look at your hands. You never had to work as hard as me, but we have the same lot, so we're supposed to suffer the same? Or look at your father. He is a judge. He toils at the prefecture day and night doing his judging, and he is a noble? I've never seen an Archnian work as hard as he does. You shrug. The Archnians are a different race. The books say they were born to rule over humans. They are never commoners, always nobles of the sword by birth. They founded the empire after subduing all the human kingdoms on the continent. Humans will never be their equals. Archnians are always better, smarter, stronger, and their skin is a noble shade of blue. If the books are to be believed, of course. You have never seen one yourself. Your idle chatter is suddenly interrupted by a rugged-looking guardsman dressed in black and green. He chases you away from the fountain. Common rabble like you have no place here. You hear the clattering of hooves and wheels against the cobblestones and see flags bearing a coat of arms, a sable serpent on a field of vert. It makes you squirm. It is the Archduke's coat of arms. The Milanidas dynasty. The carriage door opens, revealing a young lady in a luxurious dress. Ooh. You cannot look away from here. Those dainty shoulders, suggested but not revealed by the cut of her dress. Her black hair cascading over them. Her stately slim silhouette, her pouty lips and prim nose, and those eyes, dark like the night sky. The way she moves, fluidly, gracefully, and most incredible of all, her skin glows an azure blue. She is a masterpiece given life. She is an Archnian. Dun, dun, dun. Wow. What a description. Clear the way for me. The Milanidas guardsmen work quickly to clear the way to the fountain for the Archnian lady. The searing sun dances on her skin in bizarre patterns. With one elegant motion, she reveals a handkerchief, then leans over the basin and wipes her head and neck with its cool water. Well, I'll be. That's Octavia Milanidas, our Archduke's own daughter. The Archnian turns away and proceeds gracefully back to her carriage. You see something slip out of her hand and fall onto the cobblestones right next to you. Her handkerchief. Ooh. It is right there by your feet. Intricate craftsmanship. Expensive woven fabric. Delicately decorated with emerald filigree. Your heart skips a beat. Will you dare draw the beautiful Archnian's attention in order to return her lost possession? Or would you rather not attempt to cross the chasm between you and her? Ooh. Ooh. Oh. I could give it to her. Also answered your question, Repo. I've been at the gym earlier. Now I've been working on that secret project you know of. Yeah. I hope it's going well. I think I wanna give the handkerchief back to her. I wanna try what happens. Oh. It takes a moment to overcome your fear. You follow the young Milady? What? Lady Milady does. You call out to her in a nervous voice. She turns around, her beautiful face marred by a puzzled expression. You extend the dropped handkerchief toward her. Lady Octavia's face contorts into a sneer. She signs to the guardsman indifferently. Oh. A guardsman's gauntlet-clad hand slaps you in the face. It rings your head like a heavy bell. Your nose cracks obediently under this staggering force. The rest of you follows suit, and you fall prone. You can discern the guardsman's voice through the painful din in your ears. Should I take the handkerchief back, lady? After a commoner's hands have befouled it, let him wipe himself with it for all I care. Wow. I tried to be a good person. Damn it. The carriage drives away. Thomas runs up to you and drags you back to the fountain. Your head is still ringing from the blow. The fateful handkerchief is still crumbled in your hand. Wow, status remembers you. Wow. But I lost some willpower. Damn. But I'm still ready for action, so I'm good. Ooh. You experience your first romantic feelings. Yeah. Alright. What's next? Ooh. 12 years old now. You overhear an important conversation. It is a spring night and mother has just sent everyone to bed. You walk past father's study and hear voices coming from beyond the door. Grandfather is yelling and father is replying quietly. The elder Branton men are fighting, arguing about the place of the commoners in the city. You sneak outside to avoid mother's attention and hide next to the open window of the study. Perhaps they'll mention you too. That low-life idiot had the gall to pay me a visit and beg me for some service. He had the insolence to ask me outright. He thought I was going to support his claim for the chairman's seat in the lesser quorum. How dare he? Father, please listen. Mayor Egmont may be lowborn, but he carries a lot of clout in Magra. He owns 5 iron mines. A friend like him could be quite useful, should he become the chairman of the lesser quorum. I don't give a damn who this Egmont is, Robert. What he is, however, is lowborn. His lot is humility and obedience. The likes of him can never rule anything. They are nothing but a flock of sheep that need a firm, noble hand to guide them. I wasted so many years trying to quash that quorum decree, but that accursed Cornelius Tempest did everything in his power to make the Emperor sign that pathetic screed. And now even lowlives can wield power. True power, Robert. Just the right to discuss the size of the Archduke's tax. Nothing more. That is only the beginning. What's next? Are they going to arm the lowlives now? Make them into judges? If the Empire rejects the foundations and the lots, the entire edifice will crumble. Bah, who am I telling this to? It is already crumbling, and you, my son and heir, are a harbinger of its destruction. Father, I am begging you. I do not wish to marry a third time. Lydia is a good wife and a dutiful mother to my children. If you would only allow her to... I will allow them nothing. Neither Egmont nor that freeloading wench of yours. What will you want me to do next? Live by the laws of the lowborn? I can already see where this is going, and I'd rather run my own sword through my gut than live in a country where nobles and lowlives share the same rights. Wow. Wow. You are seriously a sick man. Have at it, old fart. Yeah. My only dream is to see the name of Bronte in the Blue Book. But the dream will never come true. They will never call me Venerable El Bronte. And it's all because of this marriage of yours. My only hope now is to hear Stefan addressed in such a manner one day. Thank the twins I didn't let you ruin the boy. He's about to grow up a true nobleman. His children will bear the name of El Bronte. You have 2 more grandsons. Those spineless milksops from the common lot, they're incapable of anything. The best your middle son could do is sneak into the Imperial College and get ennobled by the mantle, although I have grave doubts about even that. As for the downtrodden Nathan, I hold out no hope for him whatsoever. Wow. You hear grandfather's heavy footsteps, the thudding of his cane, and the slamming of the door. It's time to sneak back home before you're discovered. Well, that was an interesting conversation. Ooh, school begins. You started studying at the school of Sir Tibor and began to master the sciences. Finally, the day comes when the teachers stop coming to the house. But before you can breathe a sigh of relief and put away the books, Father asks you to come to his study. Incredible. Sorrow, the cute demon queen, hasn't reacted angrily to my compliment. I'm making progress. Nice, Rollin. Nice. I'm stretching a little bit. There we go. You've grown, my son. It's time for you to continue your education away from home. I've chosen a deserving school for you. Sir Tibor's School for the Children of Noblemen and Well-off Commoners. Naturally, it's not a boarding school for nobles, so you will study there during the day and come home in the evening. You share the news with your best friend Thomas. Sir Tibor's School, eh? Yeah, I gotta ask my parents to send me there too. as soon as they get the coin together. Father says his workshop has toiled day and night for years to save up for my education. Hello, Salop. We are gardening again. Do you have a lot of leaves from trees to rake? The school is based in an ancient estate of Archnean design. The classrooms are tall and spacious, with massive benches. The sounds of scraping quills and lectures on history and imperial law and theology echo under the vaulted ceilings. The rules are strict, the lessons tiring. Restless Thomas keeps getting distracted, and several times he gets his hand slapped with a stick for it. Every teacher demands flawless mastery of their subject. Every day Father asks you about your studies. Blah. You have already told him twice how Macra joined the Empire and how the Nobles' Court of Honor is different from the Commoners' Civil Court in the city prefecture. But Father keeps pressuring you to work even harder. When it is time to go to bed, Mother will not let you go to sleep until you recite the newly learned prayer for her. And when it is time to go to school, you promise her every day that you will behave with great humility and steer clear of insolent behavior of any kind, for you still live by the commoner's lot. And that lot is hard work and suffering. Your first month in school draws to a close, and the teachers announce that there will be exams at the end of the month to determine the best and the worst students in each subject. Father insists that you devote all your spare time to studying law and history if you wish to follow in his footsteps. But when you speak to Mother every day, you start considering theology. You still remember the revelations and divine visions that came to you in your earliest years. You have only one more day until the exam. You have locked yourself away in your room. It is already getting late. Your desk is covered with handwritten notes, surrounded by leather-bound books. Just looking at them makes you queasy, but you have to read through all of them again, at least one of your subjects. There is a nagging thought on your mind. Thomas ended up in big trouble the other day. He got in a fight with several boys who lived next street. They heard about your wooden fortress and got in an outrage by the fortification built by commoners. They swore to dismantle it tonight. Oh, so I have to choose between studying and defending the fort? What? Thomas swore he would defend the fortress until the end. Perhaps you should abandon the books to rescue the friend in need? Oh. But then you hear your little brother Nathan knocking at the door. He stands there shyly, not saying a word. He often does that, standing still and staying speechless until either you speak first or he runs away. But this time he actually says something. The door is locked. Are you okay, Repo? Is there anything I can do to help? Your head is spinning. This is the last evening before the school exam. If you fail, your family will be very disappointed. You have to refresh your memory on law or theology, either one or the other. But Thomas and your fort are about to be stormed. Why today of all days? You grind your teeth in rage at the thought. Nathan is by the door, trying not to bother you. He wants to help you the only way he can, for reasons known only to him. Will you accept his help? I could focus on law and history, or help Thomas, or study theology, or spend a moment with Nathan. I kind of want the ingenuity point. I wanna see what happens to the fort. And I want the ingenuity point. So let's go. Let's go. You push Nathan out of the room. He cannot possibly help you prepare for the exam. But once you are sure nobody is behind the door, you open the window and climb out into the yard and over the fence. And then you run like the wind to your wooden fort, where Thomas is in peril. The battle for the fort has already begun. Oh no, Thomas is cornered. He swings a loose wooden plank, fending off 3 boys at once. This is not a fair fight by any means. Your friend is rugged enough to have a fighting chance against 2 of them, but 3 is too many for him to handle alone. Where have you been, Repo? They're about to smash our fort. Get them. You flank the assailants and slam into them at full speed, channeling the cavalry of the holy warriors. You take them by surprise as you pull one of the aggressors away and knock him out with a punch to the jaw. Thomas cheers you on. You team up and make short work of the remaining foes. Your enemies retreat in shame. Thomas got a black eye and his knuckles are covered in blood, but he looks unusually pleased with himself. Couldn't have done it without you. Just look at them trying to tell us where to build our fort. Okay, time to fix her up. Your score on the exam was merely satisfactory, but still well above a failing grade. The family is not too happy with you, but life goes on, and your studies continue. You know you could have worked harder to prove yourself to your teachers, but your wooden fort still stands proud, and that is what matters. Yes! So we have now sympathy with Thomas. Issue! Ugh. I'm sorry. Wow. I'm sorry about sneezing into the microphone. Oops. Whew. And thank you, Val. Ooh. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Ooh. At least our ears have been sonic scrub. Wow. Today you and Thomas are to explore the streets of the castle district. You delve deep into the district, right to the old siege walls of Anisot. The city needs these walls no longer. There are no more enemies left for the Empire to fight, since the twins descended and chose the Tempest dynasty to rule the Empire. It has spread one sea to sea, bringing its rule and peace for many generations. The 2 of you gaze in awe at the old charcoal black marks on the former fortress walls. They say magic wielders during Charmilanides' rebellion could conjure gusts of fire with their own hands. The rebellious duke fought against the emperor and the church of the twin gods in the days of yore, but nothing remains of his rebellion now save for scorched ruins and parched land throughout Magra. You and your friends study the old walls and daydream about the battles that took place here during the rebellion. But then you hear a muffled voice coming from somewhere below the ground. You look around and find a hole in the brickwork where the sounds are coming from. Naturally, you take a peek. Ooh. You see a half-ruined hall built below the ground, and a handful of young men and women standing there in the dark. They look a bit older than you and are wearing plain shirts and dresses. A young man is standing on a piece of crumbled wall, reciting some of his poetry. It tells the story of a nobleman who fell into a puddle thanks to his gaudy cloak. And none of his noble bearing was of any help. He ends it with a farcical bow. You hear applause and laughter. Ooh. He gets down from the crumbled wall, and a young girl takes his place. You cannot see her face in the darkness, but hers is a voice you could recognize anywhere. It is Gloria. Your sister begins to recite the poems she has written. Nay, Gloria, yours is no proper life. You are to be a mother and a wife. Accept the kitchen apron for a gag. And lo, another voice now takes a crack. You're straying from your lot. You've got some nerve. Eyes down and be obedient and serve. Your husband, children, house, they are your absolute. Nay, Gloria, you are but a rotten fruit. You lean down to hear her better, but sand and stones fall from under your feet and into the underground hole. Gloria looks up and meets your gaze. Thomas pulls you away from the hole. So, they're reading poems, imagine that. They sure hate nobles, and even Gloria. I never thought your sister could do that, but they're sure gonna get in trouble if they get spotted by an adult. Bad-mouthing a noble will get you flogged into next week. Not to mention all the trouble you can get into for writing poems if you're a commoner. You'd better tell your sister to lay off. We'd better stay away from them too. You nod. Being around these people puts Gloria in great danger. But you know your sister. It will not be easy to tell her this. Your adventure in the castle district is done for the night. You and your friend return home. During dinner, Gloria will not look at you. Her hair is all disheveled. Is she afraid or is she ashamed? You are also worried sick. These literary gatherings may spell danger for your sister. But for an illegitimate child like her, there are so few ways to forge her own path. Dinner is over. Soon you and Gloria are alone at the table. What are you going to tell her? Do we want to convince her to leave or... I think I'm just gonna keep the secret. I'm not gonna tell her what to do. It's her decision, you know. You promise to keep your sister's secret safe and help her. Gloria finally looks at you. You wink at your sister and promise to keep her secret. You praise the poetry you were able to overhear and confess that you were impressed. A big, joyous smile appears on her face. I'm so happy, brother. I thought you were about to tell me to stop going there and say that what mother says about my lot. But I'm glad you're not like that. Me and my friends, without our poetry, we don't have anything else left. Nothing but our abysmal daily lives. At least we can laugh about it this way. You get serious and tell her that her friends need to work much harder to hide their meetings. After all, the secret passion could end up badly for them if they get caught. The best way out of this is to meet in a new place every time. You list of several abandoned places nearby where nobody will look for them. You promise her that if she ever comes close to danger, you will be there to protect her. Gloria nods and plants a kiss of sisterly joy on your cheek. Yay! Yay! Nice. What's next? Your education continues. As you study imperial law, you come to realize that there is a certain hierarchy even within the noble estate. It seems your father's status is not quite equal to that of the more eminent human and Archnian gentry. You return home with this new information at your disposal. Father asks you about school after dinner, as he always does. And what is the difference between nobles of the mantle and those of the sword, Repo? You already have an answer ready. The latter's status is hereditary, meaning that it is passed down from father to son. After the Archnians, nobles of the sword are the most eminent humans in the empire. They own land and estates, they fill offices of the highest ranks, and the names of their bloodlines are preserved with the Great Blue Book. Nobility of the sword can only be granted Nobles of the sword can only be granted only by the overseer of the province or the emperor himself. And how are such eminent people addressed? With the honorific L before their last name, you respond. Sir Augustine L. Bourne, for example. Father pats you on the shoulder, clearly pleased. And what about the Archnians and their status? What have you learned about them? The Archnians stand above all human gentry. They are born to rule over humans regardless of their titles. No L is required when addressing them. They need no honorifics, for the names of their ancient dynasties are known to all. Father nods solemnly. Yes, we can never be their equals. Do whatever an Archnian tells you and never defy them, ever. And what about grandfather and me? Where do we stand as nobles? That is easy. Father and grandfather are nobles of the mantle. This title cannot be inherited, but it can be earned by any commoner as a reward for great service to the empire in the legion or as a civil servant. Father suddenly grows quiet and looks you in the eye intently. Yes, someday you will earn a noble title too, Stan. All in due time. Will I? Let me drink a little bit more before we continue. Hello, Tuhmis, and have a good lurk. Whew. Alright. Sir Tibor's school teaches children of all stripes. Nobles of the mantle and low-born parents can send their sons there, and every passing day the children of noblemen invent new ways to snub and bully the commoners. Most of the time the bully leading them is Diedrich, the son of the secretary for the imperial chancellery and self-important slob. The sons of noblemen never pick on you, however. They know that your father has been ennobled by the mantle. However, Diedrich and his retinue soon choose Thomas as their favorite victim. Time and again you ask your friend not to pay them any mind, but again and again Thomas grows angry and snaps at their self-satisfied mockery. It is early morning. The students are busy flocking to the classroom for their next lesson. You wave Thomas over when you see him. He waves back at you, and then a bucket full of slop splashes on him. Needless to say, it is the work of Dietrich and his entourage. You hear his familiar, creaky laughter. The tailor's son stinks. How dare he sit next to decent folk? Thomas clenches his fists. You're dead, Dietrich. He throws himself at Dietrich's haughty entourage like a soldier ready to wage war. He attacks them first. This is just what they expected, and they are free to retaliate. He barely makes one movement before 4 pairs of hands grab him at once. Dietrich sneers and kicks your friend in the belly. Thomas gasps for air and starts coughing. You stand between them and as Dietrich readies another kick. The nobleman's son cocks an eyebrow. Why do you mingle with commoners? He asks. Your father is a noble of the mantle. You ought to be friends with your own kind, your equals, not the dirt beneath your feet. Behind him, 4 boys hold Thomas down as he struggles furiously. The other students are watching you, frozen in fear. Dietrich haughtily extends a hand to you. He clearly expects you to shake it. What will you do? So I can't shake his hand because well, I would have to have a worse relationship with Thomas, but we are very good friends. I would never betray him anyway. I wouldn't shake his hand anyway. So that's not a problem for me. Hello Yanis, how are you? I'm continuing the game. How are you doing? Ooh. Just woke up from a nap. Ooh, nice. I'm doing good. But my friend is in a pinch and I need to help him. I could challenge the bully to a fight or turn him over to the teachers or admonish nobleman's sons. I think I'm gonna turn him over to the teachers because I will get more ingenuity and I want that. You fold your arms across your chest and declare that Dietrich and his followers will pay dearly for their insolence. Their parents may be nobles, but they are not yet nobles themselves. Here at school we are all equals. Dietrich's entourage is about to swarm you too, but the teacher of imperial law comes into the room just in time. Everybody immediately returns to their seats. Wah. Once the lesson is over, you tell the teacher how Dietrich and his friends have been starting fights and picking on people. They are the children of nobles, yet not nobles themselves, which means they are guilty of defying their lot and encouraging other students to do the same. The law teacher furrows his brow when he hears this. He assembles all the students and admonishes them. Any student caught in defiance of his lot will no longer be welcome at the school. The twins are always watching over us all, and the school will not suffer the presence of troublemakers who defy their will. The nobleman's sons reluctantly agree. There is no good reason to risk picking on nobles when the punishment is so high. To say Dietrich is angry at you would be an understatement, but he can no longer hurt you or Thomas. The bullying stops. Yeah! We are doing good. And now we are 13 years old. Your theology teachers tell you more about Anisot. It is more than just the provincial capital. It is also a sacred place blessed by the gods. It is where the twin gods' first disciples spilled their blood, and from that blood grew the sacred silver tree. Its enormous foliage hangs over the city. You see its branches in the sky every day, but you have never approached the trunk of the tree yourself. Today you will be taking your first trip to the silver tree. Your class is visiting a service in the great temple by the tree's very roots. Thanks to your theology teacher, you and the other students will witness this landmark of the twins' advent up close. Everybody is excited. Soon you and the other boys enter the slums surrounding the church district of Anisot. The roots are pulsating under your feet. They spread underground all throughout the area. Pathetic crumpled hovels and filthy streets surround the trunk of the tree. They are home to paupers, day laborers, and preachers. The people of the district bow humbly to you and point you toward the temple. They seem at peace despite the abject poverty in which they live. All who live directly beneath the tree are filled with its divine grace, your teacher says. People come here to make peace with the world and live and their faith in it. Your class is unusually quiet. Everyone is listening to the rustling of the leaves and the underground beating of the roots. The sky above you is obscured by the tree's canopy. You find the temple of the twin gods right next to the tremendous trunk of the tree. It almost seems a part of it. There is a crowd there. Pilgrims dressed in traveling clothes, paupers and beggars, common people of the city, and the occasional well-dressed noble. There are arguments among some people who are gathered in separate small groups. Many people are wandering around, staring upward at the tree's branches. The tree impresses you with its might and the calm emanating from it. You are filled with a desire to sit down and think of the world, to learn something about yourself, to touch the silver, white bark, and hearken to the whispering leaves. You are distracted enough to fall back from the rest of your classmates. You notice a small path. It should take you right next to the trunk. A tall red-haired woman walks out of the crowd of pilgrims. She is wearing a worn white robe. She is no longer young, but her face is youthful and covered in freckles. Her hands clutch a book. You have never seen this lady pilgrim before, yet she looks at you almost as if she has recognized a lifelong friend. She beckons to you and says her name, Matilda, a preacher from Astynia. What she says next shakes you to your very core. It is commendable to see a young man so keen to learn the teaching of the twins, she says. Yet you will never follow the light of truth within the walls of the temple. Inside you will find only the lies about the lots, the erring words of prophet sanctified by the passage of centuries. Yet anyone who sets out to read the accounts of the twins' own lives knows that they never so much as mentioned the lots. Oh, the red-haired preacher's words frighten you. They clash with everything you have heard from Mother, everything you have been taught at school. The lots are a lie? You freeze in fear. Should you argue with Mathilde or ask her for more information? Or should you treat her as a madwoman and catch up with your classmates? Oh. You suddenly feel a small warm hand clasp your own. You see a girl right next to you. She's just a little older than you, wearing a black dress, threadbare yet almost spotless. Her hair is covered by a handkerchief, with only a single golden lock showing. Her brown eyes are burning with rage, her hand pulling you away from the red-haired preacher. What? You stare in confusion at the strange young girl, your cheek flushed by the sudden touch. There is just a bit of color on her cheeks too, but then she starts speaking to you quickly. Don't listen to her, she is dangerous. Come to the temple with me. Only there will you see the truth. I'm really confused. You stand there, surrounded by the crowd of praying pilgrims and the sounds of shuffling feet, torn between two people you have never seen before. And each of them expects you to follow her. But all the while you hear the whispering of the wind in the tree's branches. The branches reach out for you, almost as if the tree wishes to speak to you itself. Can you hear its voice? It could follow the girl or the pilgrim or go to the tree myself. What do I want to do? I kind of want to follow the girl. Let's do that. You turn your back on the suspicious preacher and follow the girl inside. She introduces herself to you along the way. Her name is Sean. The temple is filled with light. It is separated into two halves, just like the temple in your district. One for the commoners and one for the nobles. Yet this temple is far more grand than that one. You see two towering statues by the altar, carved with impeccable detail. They depict the twins. The elder bears an empathetic smile, and the younger has a stern look about him. They are depicted in the garments of pilgrims, frozen in their eternal journey to meet one another. My uncle is one of the priests in this temple. I'm an acolyte. I work in the temple. I help him clean the temple and cook food for the poor. And I also greet the worshippers. People come here all the time. Many are lost and they don't know where to go once they are inside. But nobody should feel lost in this place. The temple is for all the estates. Sean's face is no longer angry. The red-haired preacher is long forgotten. She's like a warm ray of light under the roof of the grand, bright temple. You ask her a question. Is she happy in her service to the twins? Of course I am. This is where I belong. Inside the temple, I feel the twins watching over me all the time. When I'm with them, I'm never afraid, never sad. She looks at the statues when she mentions the twins and smiles at them as if they are her close friends. Do you feel it too? You too turn your eyes to face the twin gods. You feel the eyes of the elder upon you. They feel warm, warm like mother's loving words. You feel virtue and order in the eyes of the younger. They feel like father's words of pride and respect. I knew it. I knew you could feel it. It's so easy when you're in the temple, but they watch over us all the time, you know. Just pray from your heart and remember how it feels all the time. Even back home, even on a long, long journey. John's voice is clear and insistent. As you listen to her, you just barely touch the palm of your hand that held hers a moment ago. Maybe it's just a delusion, but that hand feels warmer now. You keep looking back at the tree all the way home. But it is not the tree you see. You see John's brown eyes filled with inscrutable wisdom. That was interesting, I guess. I wonder what would have happened if we went to with the other woman. Oh, what is this music? After school day has another school day has ended. You are making your way home, still mulling over the things you learned from your teachers. The founding of the empire, the eternal and unshakable rule of a single dynasty. The three estates, each with its own rights. What an odd sort of order the world has, and yet so mysterious. At least it sounds that way when your teachers talk about it. Mother is waiting for you on the porch. She smiles gently when she sees you, and yet her expression still shows great concern. Now I'm worried. Father left on a trip to several distant migrant towns a few days ago. Since then, Mother has been trying to tell you something, but she seems uncertain. Son, could you put your things away and come pray with me? You join Mother in a prayer to the twins. She prays with fervent sincerity, her head bowed low, reciting the words of obedience to them and their greater design in a barely audible whisper. You repeat after her just as she has taught you ever since you were a little boy. When the prayer ends, Mother sighs and turns to you. Repo, my son, you are 30 now. You'll be grown soon. It's time you learned about certain things that are important to our family. Difficult things. It's about your father and me, about our marriage. You gaze curiously into Mother's eyes. I'm sure you've wondered about this before. Your father is a nobleman of the mantle, so how could he marry a commoner with another man's child? But you see, Repo, your father, when his first wife, Amalia Earlborn, died, It was a painful blow to him. He lost the will to live, lost all purpose. He felt like his own destiny was cut short that day as well. And then he met me. You know the troubles I had in the past. I went to the prefecture as a petitioner to ask them for help, protection, justice. When I was a young girl, I worked at a small shop that sold crockery and dishes. A nobleman took a liking to me. May his name be forever forgotten. The twins know I was humble and honored his lot to rule, but he took me by force. Mother falls silent, summoning the courage to continue. Gloria is that nobleman's daughter, but he was outraged. How could I have the gall to burden him with low-born progeny? He turned me out on the street with that little baby girl in my arms. Mother's voice is shaking now. You take her hand tenderly. I had no home, no honor, nowhere to go, no one to help me. When I went to the prefecture, I didn't really think the judges there would help me find justice against my former master. But when Sir Robert heard my plea, his eyes met mine, and I believe that at that very moment, the twins themselves granted him the gift of their love. Your father told me that there was nothing he could do to make the detestable nobleman marry me, but he would never abandon me and baby Gloria. And if I agreed, he would take me into his own home. Tears are running down Mother's cheeks. And I knew it, my son. I knew how much his honor and reputation would suffer. But caring for me brought him back to life. It's like he experienced another sacrament. He rediscovered his noble purpose, his lot to rule and protect and care for others. But his decision to marry me, he is still paying for it today. Your father had the courage to defy your grandfather, founder of his bloodline. If only you knew how much he had to endure, my son. If only you knew the despicable rumors we heard about the Brantes all over Anisot. It was only thanks to the efforts of Sir Gregor that the Brante bloodline managed to hang on to what little remained of its reputation. And now the noble families have all but forgotten about that scandal. Thank the twins. Mother falls silent. She looks at you intently. Do you understand what she is telling you? My son, I'm not telling you this just to share the pain of my past. I have no reason to complain. Even Sir Gregor has accepted me through gritted teeth. But you need to understand the heavy burden of our family must bear, including our scandalous marriage and Gloria's foul origin. And Gloria, she can never be a Bronte. Even if the elder Brontes agreed, the news would stir up the old scandal in the minds of high society. And if that were to happen, Repo, they would see even your birth as illegitimate. Mother sighs heavily. What I told you just now is something you have to know, son. You are about to enter adult life. By my lot, I must be humble. I cannot tell you how to treat your family. But may I ask a question? Now that you know all of this, do you still see Gloria as your sister? Of course! Of course I will accept her. Ah! Regardless of her origins, Gloria will always be family. Filled with determination, you assure Mother that Gloria is and always will be, and will always be your sister. You want Gloria to be Bronte too. You want her to be a part of your family. Who cares what the nobles of Anisot say? Mother beams with quiet joy when she hears this. Oh, Repo, if only you knew how happy that would make me, to have our family united at last. However, the joy on her face quickly gives way to concern. But I already owe good Sir Robert a debt I can never repay. He is giving my daughter so much. A home, an education, his care and advice. The Bronte bloodline could suffer so much from Gloria's existence. We should all just learn to accept her status as is. Just then you hear Gloria carefully knock at the door of Mother's chambers. Mother, Repo, I couldn't find you. You happily greet your sister. Yes, she is your sister. No old secrets can ever change that. Mother gives you and Gloria a kiss on the forehead and returns to her prayers. Huh? You and your sister walk downstairs together. Mother is alone by her bedside now, thanking the twins with a quiet prayer for the Bronte family they have given her. You hope they can hear her. Aw, that was cute. Nice. Let's see. Ooh. Ooh. You are 30 now. Another theology lesson. Today's sermon is about the priests and why the clergy is the only one of the three estates with the right to interpret the lots and guide the other two estates accordingly. Thomas sits next to you, puffing and puffing as he fervently writes down the teacher's every word. But you've heard all of this from Mother many times before, so you take this moment to daydream a little. Father promised to take you to the capital once your studies are complete. Where did the hiccups come from again? But the teacher suddenly casts a stern look around the lecture hall and raises his voice at one of your classmates. A boy by the name of Brian jumps out of his seat. The teacher asks him to repeat what he had just said. Brian freezes and seems to shrink. He tries to muster a reply, but nothing comes out. The class becomes agitated. Someone is about to get punished. The teacher now looms over Brian. The boy's cheeks are flushed and his eyes are covered in tears. You all watch the teacher's iron-bound book as he raises it sharply, about to strike. Brian shrieks and raises a hand in front of him. A sudden flash. The teacher screams and buries his face in his arms. His hair is ablaze and his skin is covered in horrible burns. It's magic, real magic, just like in the books about the Macro Rebellion. The class freezes in shock. There is a dull thud as the iron-bound book falls to the floor. Brian's hysterical laughter rends the silence. Uh-oh. He stands up from his bench, fire in his eyes and sparks on his fingertips. That escalated quickly. There are screams now. Students run toward the door. The teacher tries to extinguish his burning hair. Brian snaps his fingers and the books of Isaicius on the desks turn into pillars of flame. He laughs and raises his arms, and the curtain catches Curtains catch fire. The screams grow louder as the fire howls. Brian's face is tense and violent. His mouth is spewing flames, and his whole body is shaking with laughter. He steps toward the door. You and Thomas glance at each other. He's going to burn the whole school down. Your friend's determination makes you brave. You run behind Brian and knock him off his feet. You both tumble to the floor. Even through his clothes, his body sears your flesh. Brian screams, convulses, and grabs Thomas by the shoulders with his burning hands. Thomas howls but stays put, then knocks Brian senseless with several fierce blows to the head. There are servants fussing around the room now. They put out the fire and take away the teacher, his body covered in horrible burns. You and Thomas remain next to Brian, who is lying on the floor, silent. Soon 3 men in black cloaks enter the doors of the school, each bearing an edict sealed with silver, the Inquisition. You and Thomas are told to step away from the witch. They lock Brian's neck in a silver collar and take him away. One of the Inquisitors remains behind to tell the students what happened. That was magic. Magic, he explains. The ungodly power that twists the minds of men into savage instruments of murder. Only the sacred shackles of silver can hold it at bay. Only the power of the twins can save us all from its evil grasp. The next day you are forbidden from ever mentioning Brian's name again. He is no more. Interesting. A great day looms ahead. 100 years ago, Uther Tempest was anointed to rule over the Empire. Blessed by the twins themselves, the Emperor's reign continues into its 2nd century. Celebrations in honor of the Tempest dynasty are held throughout the city, and the school is closed for 2 weeks because of that. On one of these evenings, Father tells everyone that Grandfather is going to bring Stefan back home for the holiday. They say families should celebrate the day of anointment together. You could benefit from your elder brother's company. With his noble education, Stefan might be able to teach you how noblemen are supposed to act. I don't know about that. I don't know if I want to act like that. if that's how you're supposed to act, I don't want anything to do with it, you know. Soon Stefan arrives. He now handles himself differently. When it comes to ordering servants around and ignoring Gloria, he is still Grandfather's double, but he is more grown up now and far less haughty to you. It is a dark winter evening. A damp, cold wind sweeps through the city from the barren lands of Magra. You and Stefan are sitting in the library. He is telling you all about Eterna, the capital of the Empire. It is full of so many wonders. The Imperial Palace, the enormous Temple of the Twins, the Military Academy, the Imperial College. You have read so much about these places, yet he has seen them firsthand. Nathan enters the library. He looks concerned. I can't find Gloria. I looked everywhere. She's not in the attic, not in the sitting room, not in the kitchen. I heard she wanted to sneak off to the ruins of Charmilanidas' palace. She could be lost in there. You and Stefan exchange looks. Charmilanidas, the rebellious duke. The ruins of his palace are a dangerous place. Some children claim his tainted magic still lingers there, which means you absolutely have to make your way there and back again to prove you are not ever afraid of the long dead witch. Your brother tells you to wait. He leaves and soon returns with his sword in its sheath. Get ready, Repo. We're going to rescue Gloria. She must have gone to the ruins in search of inspiration for another one of her little rhymes. The two of you instruct Nathan to tell your parents you've gone for a walk in the square. You and your elder brother head outside. You are confused by Stefan's actions. He refuses to treat Gloria like a human being, so why is he still so determined to rescue her? Stefan notices your expression. Are you wondering why I care about Gloria all of a sudden? I can't act in any other way, can I? The law of honor compels me to protect my family. Gloria will never be a Bronte, but father still took her into our house. I must respect his seniority and defend Gloria like she is one of our own. You are a Bronte too, noble or not, which means it is your duty to aid you. Alright. The ruins of Charmilanides Palace span an entire district. The palace was abandoned centuries ago, and its remnants are overgrown with thick underbrush. The ruined palace is empty, nothing but cold wind blowing over crumbling brickworks. Even the worst scum of the land steer clear of this palace. You make your way through the ruins until you spot scattered sheets of paper covered in writing, your sister's writing. You hear loud laughter coming from behind a dilapidated stone wall nearby. You pull yourself up to peer over it. Gloria is lying on the ground, face down, twitching and sobbing. A gaggle of drunk young thugs surround her, cackling and swinging their arms about. You hear their shouts. Look at the lass sitting here rhyming words together. She thinks she's all noble, but don't you worry, you low-born tart. We're gonna teach you your place. One of the louds spits at Gloria as she lies there. Get away from her this instant, you bastards, or I'll spit your guts. They respond with mocking laughter. Stefan draws his sword. The street thugs recoil in fear, but they soon notice that he is only one armed man against many. They start reaching out for sticks and stones. Stay by my side. Don't let them flank me. Stefan's hand shakes, but he looks ready for battle. He is outnumbered. For a moment you hesitate. Perhaps it might be better to run for the nearby district and call for guards. The young thugs are already armed with makeshift weapons. They start approaching you and Stefan cautiously. What do we want to do? I could charge the attackers. Well, I can't follow his orders, but I could also call the guards. If I charge, it's gonna increase my relationship with Stefan. Calling the guards will increase my ingenuity. I don't really care about my relationship with Stefan, so I might just call the guards. Alright, I'm gonna do that. Ooh. The Louds try to flank Stefan and surround him. Your brother's sword thrusts and feints methodically, like in a training bout. The thugs keep dodging and jumping away. They've managed to stay safe so far. If things continue like this, soon one of them will flank Stefan, kick the sword out of his hand and bring him down. The ruffians are paying no attention to you, however. Ooh. Stefan slashes with his sword. One of the young men falls. The others rush at your brother. You get Gloria back on her feet as she stares at you in astonishment. It's time to find the guards. You find guards dressed in the Archduke's colors patrolling the nearby district. You tell them that a gang of low-born thugs have assaulted a young nobleman. But when you make your way back, the Loud's bodies are already fading away. Stefan is on his feet, his sword sinking in the last foe left standing. He smiles at you faintly, then his eyes roll back into his head and he collapses. The guards help you bring Stefan back home. Grandfather sends for the doctor the moment he sees that his favorite grandson is unconscious. The doctor quickly brings Stefan back to his senses and bandages the injuries on his left arm. Sir Gregor never leaves Stefan's side. Huh. You acted like a true nobleman, Stefan. You fought for the family's honor even though you needn't have risked your life for that freeloading wench. Wow. The burden of a noble is a tough one to bear. We must obey our lot, so that the lowly estate may toil for theirs. But when the lowborn scum grow insolent, we must be there to put them in their place. Now I fully believe that, thanks to you, the Bronte name will be written in the Blue Book, my boy. Your deeds will forever be remembered in our family's blood at the tide. And all of us will be there. You, your father, all of us. Words cannot express how proud I am of you. You leave your brother's side without a word. Grandfather will never recognize you as Stefan's equal, and father's true heir. He will never treat you as part of the family. He thinks you will not add a single worthy deed to the family's blood tide. You, Nathan, mother, he acts like all of you are unworthy to even bear the Branta name. Had you acted differently that night, would grandfather be proud of you? Who knows? Oh, so we don't have bad blood with Stefan anymore, I guess. Alright. Ooh, now I'm inventive. Hehe. Nice. Ooh. Ooh. What was that? That was an interesting sound. Before long, the entire city hears how a gang of low-born thugs assaulted Stefan Bronte. Grandfather ensures that the brash young men are found. Some of them are taken into custody as soon as lesser death releases them. Grandfather seeks vengeance on those who hurt his favorite grandson. Prefect Elborn, a friend of your family, promises to personally oversee the trial and ensure that justice is served. Stefan and Grandfather decide to stay in Anisot until the trial ends. Grandfather demands true death for every single assailant. Oh. Yeah. You ask Father to explain something. How can a legal court sentence criminals to true death? How can worldly judgment overrule the twins' law? Your words are true, my son. Their law is second to none. Yet the twin gods also made the empire and all its ways. The court of law exists to execute the laws of heaven here in the world. Should the court of law sentence a person to death, the law high above will always enforce it, and so every execution brings true death. The commoners who assaulted Stefan, a born nobleman, have committed a grave offense. There is no doubt about that. And yet, according to the Emperor's decree, even commoners have the right to defend themselves when they are about to face true death. This means that all of us will have to appear at the trial and testify before the court. Evening comes. Gloria visits your room. She looks crestfallen, and her fingers keep reaching for her long hair. You put away your school books and ask what is bothering her. The trial is tomorrow. I thought I was going to appear there too, as an eyewitness. After all, this whole mess started because of me. But Sir Robert isn't even going to mention that I was there. Can you imagine? He says it would ruin the case. Whoa! Hello, hoo-hoo. And thank you for the raid. How are you, hoo-hoo? Welcome, raiders. Hoo-hoo raid. Hello. Thank you, Yennis, for doing the shouty outy. Repo mies. Oh. I need to charge my tablet, otherwise my internet is gonna go away. A good thing I noticed before the stream went away. Would have been an interesting end of stream, just, you know. But anyway, how are you doing? Did you have a good time playing Ender Lilies? Did it go well? I'm playing this interesting game where I read the story aloud to you. And we are about to go into a trial. It was good, I beat a few mini bosses, but then I got lost. Oh no! I didn't know you can get lost in there. Aw. Map is brutal. Oh. Oof. I don't know much about the game, but it looks cool. What? Let us continue this story, and if you haven't seen me play this before, I basically go through my character's life from birth to death. And we are currently in chapter 2, which is adolescence. And we are about to go into like a court. As eyewitness. Map shows rooms with no details, so hard to navigate. Yeah. That sounds difficult. But sit back and relax, and you can listen to me. You can listen to me read the story, and you can. I think this is a very nice game because I guess it's good, like, for when you wanna do something else while watching. So you can just listen to me, or if you want, you can also look at the pictures and stuff, but you only needed to listen if you wanna follow the stream. But let's continue. So this is Gloria, who is our sister. Why am I always in the way? Nobody ever mentions me. Nobody has to listen to me. It's like I don't even exist. And I thought Stefan standing up for me finally meant something. Maybe I will become part of the family. But no, everything is back to usual now. Gloria tries her best to hold back the tears. You do your best to comfort her. Father just needs to keep the family out of trouble. If Sir Robert believes that I only bring trouble, why did he took me into the house at all? Gloria runs away. You return to your books, but you can't help but get lost in thought. What if they told the court you weren't there either? How do you feel then? There is a knock at the door. It is Father. He closes the door behind him and sits next to you. There is an exhausted look about him. Oh, have a good luck, Wolf. Son, you will be testifying before the court tomorrow. Please remember what I'm about to tell you. Gloria wasn't at the ruins at all. You went there with your brother to inspect this historic site. The low-born men insulted Stefan first and then attacked him. Stefan had managed to deal with the assailants on his own by the time the guards intervened. Gloria will cast suspicion on the case. If we mention her very existence to the court, the reputation of the family will suffer. Your grandfather will never forgive me if that happens. Do not let me down. We are all counting on you. I wonder if I'll be able to, like... Well, I wonder what the options are in the trial. I don't know what I will do yet, but I will look at the consequences when I'm gonna choose. But we shall see. You recall the night of the fight, like it was a moment ago. Gloria sprawled under the feet of those cackling slugs. Her poetry, her greatest treasure, scattered on the ground. She thinks she is all noble. Those were the words. They spat down at her. But doesn't grandfather mean the same thing when he denies that she is part of the family? But if you do what father tells you, the trial will end quickly. Those commoners will face true death for assaulting a noble. If you mention Gloria, things will get complicated, and you cannot predict how the trial will end. Which is more important to you? What is right or what is just? Huh. Damn it. I don't have enough willpower to convince father to change his mind. I could support him or lie to him. Well, I'm on Gloria's side, so I'm gonna lie. I'm gonna lie to him. I would have tried to convince him, but I can't do that right now. So I'm just gonna lie. You agree with father now, but you will tell the truth later. You nod in agreement. You will follow the family's plan for the trial to the letter. A faint smile appears on father's fatigued face. Thank you, son. This is an important case for our family, and for me as well. I appreciate your support. You watch father leave your room and consider your options. When should you mention Gloria during your testimony? There is no way you will pretend she was not there. That would not be fair in the slightest. Oh, I'm nervous. Oh god. The day comes. The trial takes place in the lesser hall of the city prefecture. Sir Elborn himself presides as the judge. You are seated next to Father and Stefan. You are to testify to the court one after another. Your brother's testimony follows Father's plan to the letter. The young commoners insulted you as you were both walking by the ruins. Then they assaulted you. Stefan defended you. You are next to speak. You tell the court the truth about that night. How the thugs humiliated Gloria, how Stefan and you came to help her, and how Stefan defended his half-sister. There are confused whispers in the hall. The commoners on trial cry out. It's the truth. Gloria was reciting poetry and they simply told her she was defying her lot. The situation has changed. By this account, Stefan was not acting in defense of himself or another. He merely assaulted them first in order to retaliate against those who had insulted his half-sister. Grandfather's face turns red, yet he remains silent. All emotion disappears from Father's face. Your brother turns to look at you, disappointed. Sir Elborn rises to deliver the sentence. There is bitter regret in his voice as he speaks. With this new evidence in mind, the court of Anisot finds you not guilty of assaulting Stefan Elbrante, a nobleman. However, you are found guilty of disgraceful conduct and injury to a noble. All 4 defendants are sentenced to 20 lashes each. This story is all over the place. Repo Brante seems to have interesting life. Yes. Very, very interesting life. Okay, Anerto. Thanks for hanging out. And bye-bye and have a good night. Alrighty. The carriage is silent as your family drives home. Oh, Ruffle! Ruffle! Wee! Nyam 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 nyam. Father asks you to... Father asks you go to the sitting room. You need to talk alone. The tone of his voice does not bode well for you. The sitting room doors slam shut behind him. Uh-oh. 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 I don't like this. You have absolutely no idea what you've done. Why did you have to be so foolish and stubborn? Why? Explain to me. Father is furious. You tried to explain yourself. You only wanted them to treat your sister fairly. Father's face turns red, just like grandfather's did. Treat it fairly, he says. His sister, he says. Get out of my sight this instant, both of you. You're in for a world of punishment, young man. You and your sister. You are nothing but a disappointment to me. Be gone. Ooh. Ooh. Eee. Next, Father gives his orders. You and Gloria are flogged together, brutally enough to ensure you learn your lesson. Once this ordeal ends, your sister thanks you through tears. At least you tried to stand up for her. Her back will not hurt less for that, but at least you feel better now. Owie. When Gloria comes back home the day after, there is a fresh bruise on her cheek. Her dress is covered in dust and her hair is disheveled. You ask her about it, but she does her best to pretend nothing is wrong. When you ask about the bruise, she says she just fell. Ah. You meet those 4 commoners on the street a few days later. They thank you mockingly and tease you mercilessly. Sir Repo Brante, they call you sarcastically. You walk away as fast as you can. They laugh behind your back. Whatever happens now, Stefan will not protect you or Gloria anymore. Ah. Oh god. Now there is hostility between me and Grandpa. Grandpa really hates us now. Even more than before. Which is not a surprise because I pick all the options that are against him. Alright. Ooh. 14 years old now. I see. Alright. Let's continue. Stefan leaves soon after the trial, alone. Grandfather does not go with him. For the first time in a long while, he lingers in the house for more than a fortnight. Father says Sir Gregor is ill and needs rest. Several months go by, and it becomes clear that grandfather will not recover. The eldest Brant is mostly bedridden now. On some days he has trouble recognizing people. When he means to address you or Nathan, he calls you Robert, your father's name. But when he does get out of bed, the house grows empty. The servants hide. Mother locks herself in her chambers. You and Nathan run outside or hide quietly in your rooms. If grandfather sees anyone in the hallway, he begins lamenting. Oh, nobody heeds the lots any longer. Any harlot with a child can marry a nobleman these days. Children have no respect. His son betrayed him and let him down. And oh, how the Brantahe family has lost its honor. Again and again you hear grandfather knocking at mother's door, screaming that it is all her fault. He blames her for ruining his chances to find bliss in the hereafter. He blames her for dooming him to suffer at the foot of the pillar. You overhear your parents talking one night. Mother begs father to move Sir Gregor to his old home and spare the children his decline. Father refuses her outright. It is late at night. Oh god. I don't like that picture. Oh no. The hot, dry winds are coming. The house is empty save for you, Nathan, Gloria, mother and grandfather in his bed. Father has left for the capital on business. You are engrossed in the history of the empire, snapping out of your reverie only when the clock strikes midnight. You blow out the candle and get ready for bed. You hear the shuffling of heavy feet outside your door. You see light in the hallway. Grandfather, what could he want in the middle of the night? You peek into the hallway once he is past. Grandfather's figure sways as he heads for the door to mother's chambers. He opens the door and walks in. You hear him saying something quietly. Your unease is stronger than your fear now. You sneak closer to hear his words. You foul commoner, I have to cleanse my sins. I have to save my soul. You are my greatest sin. You and what you have done to Robert and this family. I should have put a stop to this marriage. Uh-oh. I should have stopped Robert from tainting this house by your presence. Why, oh why didn't I do it? Uh-oh. Oh no. Please, Sir Brant, I beg of you. Silence, you will do my bidding. Fire will cleanse all low-born filth from this place. Oh, fire, and flame will free Robert from this disgrace. This is for my son's sake, for my sake. I need to eradicate this low-born filth. The twins, they are calling for me now. I can feel it. I beg of you, please have mercy. Mother begins to cry. You run into the room, unable to stay out of this any longer. Grandfather's gaunt figure looms over Mother's bed, a lit oil lamp in his hand. Mother is sprawled out on the bed, crying. Please, just let me warn the children. I beg of you, Sir Bronte. Your steps are loud enough to be heard. Grandfather turns to look at you. Stay out of this, Repo. Be useful for once. Worldly matters concern me no longer. I see only my sins now, and a sinner I am. A sinner. The twins, they forgive no one. They will judge me by the pillar. I must do something. I didn't want to suffer for all eternity. Go away. Mother is crying. Grandfather is still looming over the bed. Driven to madness, his hand shakes as he clutches the oil lamp. His eyes shine in the dark. He truly believes this has to be done. You are suddenly torn. What if he is right? What if that is the only way for his soul to find salvation? There is no going back now. You have but the moment to act. Ooh. Damn it. I don't have enough willpower to stop him. But I could run away and rescue Nathan and Gloria. What? Or I could just let it happen. I'm not gonna do that. I'm going to rescue Nathan and Gloria. Let's do that. You turn around and run for your brother and sister. Grandfather's prayers and mother's sobbing drive you to run faster. You wake up Nathan and Gloria and lead them out of their rooms and the house without any explanation. You hear Mother's shrill cry of despair from the porch. The second floor window shatters. A body in a nightgown drops to the ground. Then another cry of despair, an old man's cry. You cover your brother's eyes to hide the sight from him. The second floor of the estate has caught fire. Gloria runs for the neighbors. You take Nathan's hand and go to Thomas's house. Neighbors and servants flock to the house to put out the fire. Together you manage to extinguish the flames before the first floor is engulfed. The second floor, however, has been reduced to ash. You watch Mother's body turn to dust and fly away with the sparks. Nathan is crying. Gloria hugs him and says that everything is fine. Mother will return soon, reborn. Thomas's family gives you refuge for the night. Well, that also escalated quickly. Jeez. His charred body is taken to the family crypt in the morning. Gregor Bronte has died his true death. You go there to look at him. His face is covered by the cloth, hiding its expression. Did Gregor Bronte finally find solace at the pillar amongst the flames, in his final living moments? Or did he die as he lived, an embittered soul driven mad because he could never truly live by his lot. Either way, life has changed. His burden no longer weighs heavily upon your family. For a moment you are overcome with rage. Hot tears start rolling down your cheeks. This is it. You will never be able to prove anything to him now. All your future triumphs, or your words of defiance, grandfather will never hear them. He will never see you grow up. You hear a heavy door clang in the corner of the crypt. Out comes Mother, wrapped in a black cape. She is reborn. She looks around in surprise as she leaves the cold stone walls behind, then finally notices you. My son, Nathan, Gloria, what happened to them? You briskly wipe your face and comfort her. No one else died that night. It is hard to speak, like something is clutching at your throat. When Mother sees grandfather's charred remains, she closes her eyes with a deep sigh, then shakes so violently she falls to her knees. Then she starts whispering something. You recognize it. It is a prayer of gratitude to the twins. When she is done, she briskly wipes her face like you did. She looks younger now. Her eyes sparkle, she smiles so brightly and so sincerely. You have not seen her like this for a long, long time. Mother comes closer and pats you on the head, fondly and gently. You rescued your brother and sister, saved them from a lesser death. Thank you, my son. Please remember this. None of this is your fault. This is my final life, and I promise to live it in joy. Aww. So she only has... She only has one life left. You hear the snorting of horses outside. Father is back from Eterna. Like, welcome home. It's burned down. Well, Grandpa is gone now. And now we have... We are on the edge of poverty now. Whoops. But I am very inventive. Your grandfather, Sir Gregor Bronte, left this world forever to meet the twin gods. Alright. Oh. The night of grandfather's death shook your family to the core. Yet, no matter how it happened, your grandfather, Gregor Bronte, is dead and will never return. He was a fearful shadow looming over the rest of your family. The Bronte patriarch exerting his influence on all the lives below him, and all of you will remember him forever. Father is the new patriarch of the family now, yet he still cannot bring himself to sit at the head of the table where Sir Gregor used to preside. Stefan locks himself away in grandfather's bedroom every day. He will not talk to anyone. Gloria and Nathan still jump at every sound that so much as resembles the knocking of his walking stick. Mother spends all day in prayer at the temple. And yet, the house has become calm and quiet with his passing. But there is one more thing that must be done, the final farewell. It weighs heavily upon your soul. Hello, Putte. Hello, how are you doing? And welcome to the stream. How is your day? The cinnamon roll grandpa. If you mean by poisonous cinnamon roll, then the day comes to pay your final respects. Father goes to the tomb alone, save for Stefan, Nathan, and you. Mother and Gloria stay at home. Only nobles or those who may become nobles may join this ritual. Doing okay? Return from evening doggo walk. Ooh. Did you see many fallen leaves? I was in ironic mode, of fucking course. Yes. Yes, of course. But we are reading the story. Or playing the game. Both things. There is a solemn silence as you walk to the crypt. Father is the one who breaks this silence when you finally reach the door of the family crypt. Your grandfather built this crypt, and now he will be the first Bronte to remain here in body forever. The first ever noble in our family. It is our duty now to hold the sacrament of flowing blood for Sir Gregor. We will honor his legacy and join him as the founder of the noble Bronte dynasty. Oh. Stefan perks up at father's words. His hands still clutch grandfather's sword. Tradition decrees that it must remain in the niche above the owner's sarcophagus. Nathan, on the other hand, looks even more frightened now. Who? Stairs carved of white stone lead you downward. Deep in the gloom of the crypt, atop a pedestal, you see the sarcophagus that holds grandfather's body. Father takes a moment to compose himself before paying his final respects. Gregor Bronte, my father, brought our family into nobility through his unshakable will. He was a judge and a loyal servant to the empire. He lived his life as if he had been born a noble, and he never strayed from the path he had chosen. He sought to make the Bronte family ennobled by the sword, so that our children's children might be of noble birth. Ooh. Thank you for the redeem salop. I will drink some. Well, it's not water, it's Coca-Cola. Ooh. Alright, let's continue. The twins know I abided by my father's words all my life, even if I could not obey him every time. Father lets out a bitter chuckle as he says this. Stefan glares at father, then turns to glare at Nathan and you. Repo, you know that is then dehydration. But you know, as long as my throat isn't dry, you know, because then I can read, you know. After all, the two of you were born of father's shameful decision to marry a commoner. All of you remember his disastrous passing. He did not die the true death he deserved. We all must know that he fought for the future he believed in to the very end, and he would be proud to see his family bid him farewell in this sacrament of the nobility. Stefan still glares at father sullenly. His fingers remain clutched around grandfather's sword. Nathan barely pays attention to the words. He looks around with unease, his arms folded across his chest. Father reaches into his jacket and pulls out a slender dagger, thin and sharp. He takes off his gloves. Watch me carefully, my sons. Make a small cut on the palm of your hand and let your blood flow into this duct on the wall of the crypt. It will join your grandfather's blood here and flow up forever. Then ancestor and progeny will become as one. Oh. We shall enter our family's blood tide and receive grandfather's final blessing, for his blood flows first in our blood tide. He will respond to you. You are part of him and he is part of you. I don't know if I want him to be a part of me. With a quick motion, father slices his hand and holds the bleeding cut above a small opening in the wall. Then he hands the dagger to Stefan. Stefan cuts his hand without hesitation and does as father did. You receive the dagger next. The dagger's handle feels warm. You hesitate for a moment as you look at the palm of your hand. If you participate in this ritual, you will enter the Brande blood tide. You, a lowborn child, a child who is still a commoner. Are you ready to claim your legacy as a descendant of the nobleman Gregor Brande? The eyes of your father and brothers are upon you. Nathan, the youngest brother, will follow your example. You can be certain of this. Ooh. Seems like my only option is to give the dagger back. Because I don't have the conditions. I don't meet the conditions for the other stuff. For the other stuff, I would need to have a nobleman's sacrament or more nobility and a better relationship with grandpa. So we're not gonna do that. You refuse to participate in the ritual after all. You do not bear the nobleman's lot. You return the dagger to father and say you cannot participate in the ritual. You are a commoner, and your back bears the mark of the lash. Grandfather would never have let you honor his name as a nobleman. Nathan nods in agreement. You do not deserve this honor. Father burrows his brow and shakes his head. Stefan, help me close the lid of the sarcophagus. And remember to ask for grandfather for his blessing. And as for you two, it seems you weren't ready to walk the nobleman's path after all. You're right, son. Your grandfather would never have allowed it. I don't want to be a noble anyway if you're all pricks. The lid of the sarcophagus falls into place with a heavy, resonant thud. Then suddenly, you all freeze, as each of you hears your late grandfather speak to you. His voice is loud as it rings in the depths of the crypt, and yet he speaks to each of you separately. Foul-blood weakling, I knew you never had it in you to rise above your meager birth, Repo. You have not a drop of nobility in you, and your pathetic little brother is the same. You are a taint upon my flesh and blood. Be gone from my crypt. Your legs carry out a out of the crypt of their own accord. Out, out of the stuffy crypt. You can finally breathe again. You hear slow footsteps behind. You turn around and meet Nathan's gaze. You did the right thing. If it weren't for you, I'd have done what Father told us. Grandfather said I should stay away from his legacy. Said it will do me no good if I try to follow in his footsteps. How's that for words of guidance, eh? Nathan sighs as he embraces you. Father and Stefan leave the crypt much later and walk to the carriage without a word. You and Nathan humbly follow behind them. Our father doesn't like us that much anymore. But, you know, what did I expect? Father and Stefan leave the crypt much later and walk to the carriage without the... Whoa, I already read that. Alright. Ooh. Grandfather's passing and last respects have left a mark on the entire family. His words relayed from the hereafter keep echoing in your mind. You still do your best to avoid the memory of grandfather's last night and spend more time on the city streets with Thomas and your other classmates. The road by the house reminds you of another clash with death. Sometimes as you walk along that road, you recall Sophia, the beautiful girl with the wonderful eyes and the terrifying thundering hooves. You have not seen Sophia since that fateful day. The children who live nearby say her parents sent her to a rich Arknian family, the Ottons, as a servant. The sun has set. The pillar shines palely in the dark sky. Thomas is ill, so you decide to visit him and tell him the latest news. The streets seem oddly agitated tonight, full of horses, clothed men, strange faces, and hushed voices. A young nobleman in a heavy embroidered cloak is walking back and forth, clutching at his sword nervously. There is a grimace of rage on his delicate blue face. He is an Arknian. You overhear voices. Sir Otton, the girl is not home. We searched the house. Her parents swear she ran away from home too. They claim they wanted to bring her back. Oh. Just do whatever it takes. Turn this loathsome district upside down if you must, but bring my servant back to me. She's here. Sophia ran away from an Arknian? How can this be? There is only one place on the entire street where a person could hide. The abandoned Morrill house, 4 houses away from yours. You head there, doing your best not to attract attention. The lopsided house built of yellow brick has been abandoned for 20 years or so. You remember playing there as a boy. You glimpse a figure inside even before you enter. A pair of eyes glimmer in the dark. You would recognize them even after another 4 years. Sophia has grown up. She is almost an adult now, and her face is full of fear. She is not the easygoing girl next door that you remember. She finally recognizes you. Oh, it's you, Repo. Be quiet, they are all looking for me. I ran away from the youngest Otton. I might be in for a lesser death here. but I'd rather die than spend another day in their slavery. I'm just a thing to him, just a toy to play with. Ooh. Sophia winces and closes her mouth as she says this. There's a glint of bright yellow deep in her eyes. I ran to my parents. I told them all about the men I had to serve. And they went and alerted the Ottons. They don't want to be the target of their ire. But you aren't going to tip them off, are you? No. No, I'm not. The barking and shouting are getting closer. Sophia's voice grows quiet. She runs off to the darkest corner of the house before you can answer. One of Otton's servants is so close you can hear his cloak swishing against the ground. He notices something and calls for the others. There are more voices around you now. They approach the house from the yard and surround it. One of them seems particularly snappy, annoyed and impatient. You have already heard this voice today. If you're in there, girl, you'd be wise to come out and quit wasting my time. All will be forgiven and you will go back where you were. You know it. And if you don't, I'll drag you out by the hair. The hilt of the younger Arknian's sword bashes at the door. He is about to lose his patience for good. Sophia hugs the wall in the dark, trying to stay still. She glances at you. What will you do? Your heart is racing. Can you act against the Arknian's orders? Do you have the gall to defy the mighty nobleman? Let's see. I could try to stop him or help her flee. Or hide alone, but I don't want to hide alone. Which one do I want to do? This one... I don't know. It's gonna take more willpower out of me. Which is a little bit... But this one, I don't lose anything. I'm gonna try... Or should I? I feel like maybe I should help her flee. Maybe that's more wise than like confronting the dude. Even though it's gonna cost me willpower, but I'm gonna do that. So we will help her flee. You grab Sophia's hand as you run down the stairs to the old cellar. She resists you at first until she reads your lips. There is a secret way out. You sneak away into the cellar, leading the way. The floorboards groan above your heads as the Arknian and his men search the house. But only children who grew up in this district know that this cellar leads to the neighboring district. You lead Sophia to the hole in the cellar floor and help her squeeze in. There it is, an odd tunnel that leads to a well 2 streets away. None of the children know who dug it, yet you played here and chased each other through it so many times as a lad. And now this secret passage will rescue Sophia from genuine pursuit. Soon you are in the well. There is nothing above you save for the sky full of clouds. You wait until you hear no more steps around you, then climb out of the well and help Sophia up. You lead the way to the slums around the Temple district, the easiest place to disappear. Whoa. Woof woof. Well, thank you for the redeemed salop. Alright. A dog in a nearby house starts barking. One of Oton's men appears in front of you. You take a step back as your fingers search for a brick, ready to defend Sophia no matter the cost. She squeezes your hand, and then you hear a high-pitched scream of rage. Oh, a flash of yellow light stuns you. In the blink of an eye, Oton's man freezes and collapses, unable to get up. Whoa! Sophia's eyes are no longer sky blue. They are yellow now. She lets go of your hand. You recoil in fear. You weren't supposed to see that, Repo. Don't worry, I won't hurt you. But I won't let them take me. I won't go back to Oton after this. I need to run. Run as far as my legs can take me. Thank you for helping me, and farewell. Sophia gives you a gentle kiss on the cheek and disappears down the dark alleyway. You stand there stunned. Sophia is a witch? Her magic bound Oton's man by the arms and legs. It made him unable to move. You hear Oton's screams of rage and the thumping of his men's feet. But Sophia is long gone. It's a shame that was all you could do for her. The runaway girl becomes the talk of your district for an entire week. You overhear that Sophia managed to flee the city. The Otons are furious. After this sudden appearance, she disappears from your life once more. You will not see her again until much, much later. Ooh. Your heroic act gave Sophia a faint glimmer of hope. I'm very interested to see where this is gonna lead. Oh. You are about to turn 15. Just one step away from adulthood. Mother is acting anxious at dinner today, barely touching her food. You exchange glances with Gloria. She carefully tells you that she wants to go to the tailor. Mother shudders, and her hands clench into fists. No, don't you dare leave home today. I forbid it. That dirty heretic Fotis is preaching his lies under the silver tree today. Twins willing, I don't want you to hear any of that. You and Gloria glance at each other again. Fotis, he is a patriarch, the head of the clergy throughout the entire province. That is the first time you've heard Mother speak like this about the priest, especially such a high-ranking one. Once you leave the dinner table, Gloria comes to your room with a cunning expression on her face, like she's about to play a trick on someone. She has a plan. The two of you should sneak out of the house and go to the silver tree. You simply must hear that sermon for yourself. What's so bad about Patriarch Fotis? Why does Mother hate him so much? You two are grown-ups now. Surely you have the right to know. You agree with your sister. Together you sneak out from under your mother's watchful eye and hurry to the silver tree. The temple block is full of people from all ranks and estate. There is barely enough room for you to squeeze through the crowd. The crowd has gathered around the very roots of the tree. Gloria suggests that you climb up to the roof of a nearby building so you can hear and see everything better. And not a moment too soon. From the roof you see a tall silver-haired priest step into the platform by the tree, dressed in the common black robe that looks far beneath his rank. Yet he stands like a noble before the crowd. Behind his back is a banner flapping in the wind. The open book? This is the symbol of the new faith, the crowd whispers. The patriarch holds in his hands up to the sky, and the entire temple block grows quiet. Excuse me. He begins his sermon, his vibrant voice rolling across the square. Fotis speaks of a great mistake. We entrusted ourselves to the lots as the only way to fulfill divine providence in this world. But for all these years, the will of the twins has been interpreted for us by a single man, Prophet Isaias. The twins are ever watching from atop the shining pillar. Of this we have no doubt. But how can we so blindly believe that we truly follow their will by following the lots? Have we not seen the 3 lots of Isaias fail again and again to answer the question of how we ought to live our lives? Have we not seen people change their lot in life again and again without being smitten by divine wrath? Every person born, whether human or Archnean, lowborn or noble, must find their lot and their way to the gods on their own. From now on we will seek the gods in the accounts of their own lives, in their own acts in this world, and their own words as they echo within us. And as we heed the voice of the twins within, we will each find their path for us on our own. The crowd at the silver tree listens to the patriarch's speech in stunned silence. You glance at your sister. Her eyes glisten with tears as she hears Fotis' words. Then suddenly, a hoarse cry rises from the crowd. If there are no lots, does that mean the nobles are gonna till the fields and the commoners are gonna bear arms? The crowd begins to murmur. The patriarch raises an arm and inhales, ready to answer. An odd figure leaps from the crowd onto the platform. A dirty beggar dressed in rags. Oh, ooh. A knife flashes in his hand. The blade slices. Blood starts spurting from Fotis' throat. He slumps over and collapses. A dark brown puddle spreads across the platform where he had stood. Gloria clutches her mouth to suppress a shriek. A few moments of stunned silence, and then the screams begin. The people are frantic. The temple guards try to restore order in the crowd, but to no avail. An old woman dressed in an inquisitor's cassock tries in vain to apply pressure to the patriarch's wound. The nobles draw their swords. Dogs are barking. The crowd is pushing and shoving. Children are crying. The entire square by the tree is in chaos. From the roof, You see the moment when people start trampling each other, howling, praying, shouting. Gloria tugs on your sleeve. Time to go. You climb down from the roof and run. You return home without exchanging a word. Mother has been in her room all the while, so no one noticed your absence. Gloria locks herself in her room. You do not discuss the things you have just seen. They are too frightening. But your parents discuss every little detail of the blood-stained sermon over dinner. This is unbelievable. A patriarch murdered in plain sight. The gendarmes and the Archduke's guards have searched every corner of the slums. The murderous beggar has disappeared without a trace. I can't even imagine a more gruesome crime. Otis has died a true death, never to return from the hereafter. But how? Why can't the patriarch be reborn? He's so close to the twins. Such is the way of the world, my children. Once you are granted great power by the twins' will, there's no hope for you to come back. Not even after the first of your deaths. Emperors, they're powerful vassals. Heads of great Archnean dynasties, patriarchs of the church. None of them are destined to be reborn. Otis is gone forever. I fear for his soul. It was lost in doubt. Will the twins accept him upon the peak of the pillar? We must pray for the patriarch, children. Let us hope he managed to return to the true old faith before the moment of his passing. But there is little hope for that. Interesting. Very interesting. Ooh, tomorrow you'll turn 16. According to imperial law, you will be a full adult. Your time at Sir Tibor's school has ended. You have studied enough to apply for the Imperial College and learn the judge's trade there. You are to travel to Eterna tomorrow. Your friend Thomas will go there with you to try his luck in the Imperial capital. Mother and father prepare for the long journey. Remember, son, there is only one goal for you. You must become a student at the Imperial College. Your teachers dragged you through all those books for a reason. You have the knowledge and fervor to be ennobled by the mantle as I was, and as my late father was before me. And who knows, maybe one day you will be the one to write the name Bronte in the Blue Book and ensure that your children's children will be noble by birth. Then mother speaks to you carefully. There is worry in her eyes. But Robert, there may be another path for our son. Stefan, your firstborn, was born a noble. He will surely earn the title for the entire Bronte family. Your second son bears the favor of the twins. For him the path of the priest is a worthy calling, no less than a nobleman's sword. They have been arguing about your future for a while now. Still, she would never defy the will of a nobleman and her husband. You smile at them both, trying to placate them. Gloria laughs quietly behind their backs. Just don't become a snoot like Stefan, and you'll do just fine. Mother chides Gloria for that. You wink at your sister. Nathan has been downcast all evening. He barely touched his dinner. When everyone gets up from the table, he suddenly rushes over to embrace you. Please don't go, Repo. Can't you stay? I don't know what I'm going to do without you. You tussle his hair in response. There is no way you can stay now, you would say. But when you come home, and you will come home, you'll tell him all your stories and bring him a special present from Eterna. This is it. All your lessons have been learned, and all your things have been packed for the road. You will leave the family home tomorrow. Tonight is your last night at home before your departure. You walk through the rooms one last time. The sitting room where Mother used to read you fairy tales. The library where Gloria used to spend all her time. Father's study, which you entered only on special occasions. The backyard where you taught Nathan to build towers one summer. The whole place feels so familiar, so dear to you. It feels like home. You lived here for 16 years. Will you ever return? It is getting late. Everyone is already in their rooms. But you hesitate. Father, Mother, Gloria, Nathan. It will be a long time before you see them again. Who will you spend your last few hours at home with? What do I want to do? I think I have enough ingenuity, and I already have, I think, the max relationship with Gloria. Otherwise, I would spend the time with her. But I think I will spend time with Nathan because he was so sad. And I will get willpower. I think I'm gonna do that. Let's see. Nathan is already in bed, snoring. You approach your brother quietly and pat him on the head. He is startled, but starts smiling with joy when he realizes it is you. Hi, hey, can we go outside? I need your help with something. You creep silently downstairs. The air outside is damp, and drops of dew glisten in the night. Nathan drags you towards the bushes. A spotted kitten looks at you from the bushes with sad eyes. Aww, a kitty. You see a bowl of water and some scraps of food next to it. Look, he ran into our yard today. See, he's got a broken paw. We need to save the poor kitten. Yes, save the kitten. Yes. This was clearly the best decision. You pat Nathan on the head. Together you sneak the poor animal into the house and take him to the storage closet. Then you close the closet door and begin the treatment. If anyone is clumsy in your family, it is Nathan. Yet his hands are unusually accurate and calm as he binds the kitten's paw. You start chatting as you treat the kitten. As you think out loud about living in the capital and working towards your goal, Nathan strokes the poor animal's wet fur. He sighs. It is tough for me, thinking about being grown up. I'm not much of anything even now. I wish I could be like you. You sure know where you're going and who you're going to be. You shrug. No, I mean it. I can't be like that. They say I'm going to study too and go to Eterna and become a priest or go to the college. But there's no way I can make it there. Does that mean there's nothing else out there for me? You'll be leaving soon and I'll be alone here. You'll write to me, I know you will, and you'll come back one day. But I'm scared. Scared I might lose my way when you're not around. You'll come back, but it'll be different. You'll be different. I'll be different too. You swear to Nathan that even if everything changes, you will always be his brother. You will always be there to offer him advice and support. And you have no doubt that he will find his way in life. It just takes time to find yourself, sometimes more than you might expect. The sun is about to rise. You should rest before the long trip, but you are not tired at all. Nevertheless, it is time for bed. Before you leave, Nathan hugs you again. Please promise you'll come back, Repo. You swear to him that you will. You get into bed and fade away into a gentle, happy sleep. They will be waiting for you back here, no matter what. Aww. You leave the family home for a long time. Your future awaits you in Eterna, the capital of the empire. Ba ba ba. Last night was your final night at home. The carriage is now waiting at the gate, ready to take you to the capital. The clip-clopping of the idle hooves against the cobblestones count the seconds before your departure. You take one more look at your parents' house and recall your childhood spent there, in the nearby yards, at your school, and on the winding streets of Anisot. You clashed with the greater world around you and survived. You felt the tinkle of emotion for the first time. You were taught by the school and the streets. You explored the city of your birth and learned something of its past. You witnessed first-hand events that will be remembered by history for all time. All of this is yours now, forever. You saw death, lesser death followed by rebirth, and the true death that takes and never gives back. You saw death lying in wait to strike the unaware, like a beast stalking its prey. You saw grandfather's angry grimace lit by the flickering fire of the lamp, the Archduke's cavalry trampling those who stood in their way, and your older brother's bloodied sword slicing through the air. Death has followed you from a very young age. And yet you live on. You have a friend who has been by your side all these years. Thomas taught you many things, how to take a hit, how to keep your word, and how to remain true to your own self. And now Thomas is walking to the same carriage as you are, with a heavy bag slung over his shoulder. Your friend will remain your companion for the time being. Ahead of you is a long trip towards the capital and adulthood. For the first time, you will be away from your family and home. What awaits you in the future? There we go. Chapter 2 is done. Ooh. So we didn't really, we didn't lean into the nobility at all, but we are very, very inventive, and we have dipped our toes into spirituality a little. Let's see, and I have now died once, and I'm ready for action. Alright. I think it is time to end for today. I hope you enjoyed the story. Let's see. I will continue this next week, because there I will be away from home from Thursday to Sunday. All right. So I think we want to whoa. I think we should raid someone. But who should we raid? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. There's Huntress Venus, who is here playing Overwatch. I guess she's still playing. She's been playing for a long time though. Don't know how long they're gonna go. But we could also go raid Felix, who is playing PUBG. I think we should go show some love to Felix. He's a really, really nice plant tomato VTuber. I guess you could describe him. Let's see, Felix the plant. And definitely drop him a follow if you like your stream. But I should go and eat something, and you guys take care, and I hope you like the stream. I enjoy this game a lot. I become very, very focused on it. But I will see you next week. All right. And thank you, Tsala, for the redeem. I will drink actual water after this. All right. Let's go Repo raid Felix. Bye bye. Let's go Repo raid.